I was just thinking about all the things that I haven't said about my journey from apathy to or I don't even want to say apathy, like my journey from negative cynicism to a more positive outlook. But a lot of the things that I haven't said is the practical exercises that I would use to um, get over my fears, and basically overcoming my fears and developing a positive self-image was the thing that allowed me to feel good about myself, feel at peace with my surroundings and at peace with the world and as I know it, the little bit of world that I know. And basically one thing is doing things like I mentioned briefly going on the train. I am on the train a lot because I live in Brooklyn and I use the train to get to Manhattan. So I'd go back and forth. And instead of just sitting on the train, I used the train as a place to challenge my fears. Because I know maybe some of you would disagree with this, but I had an audience on that train. People that I would never see again. And I could just do whatever I wanted in front of them. And it didn't matter, because they would forget it, I would forget it, and it doesn't really matter. So I would use the train as my place of growth. So like one time I was on the train and I sat down. I don't know if you're not from New York, you might not know what the train looks like. But there's seats, and then there was an empty space between the seats. I can't explain it. And I just sat down and I went like this, and sat in like a meditative position and closed my eyes. So everybody's on the train. They're like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know, they're thinking that. They're not saying it. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna. I'm just thinking to myself, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna do this, and then. I opened my eyes and I started looking around to see what the people were doing, and everybody was just kind of like, what is he doing? So then I started doing sit-ups on the ground, on the train, just sit-ups, and then looked around, looked at people's reactions, and still just like this. Then I turned on my side and I started doing leg lifts, like these kind, like a Suzanne Summers kind of leg lift. And I was doing that, and mind you, I'm on the train floor, and I'm just lifting my leg. So then I got a little bolder because I felt empowered from the attention, and I realized that I had complete control in the train car. So I stood up. And I just started falling backwards, right onto my back, and just going boom, shake the whole train car, and just falling backwards and just boom. So then I would do that, and that was I was getting more and more comfortable with the attention that I was getting, the negative judgment that I perceived myself to get, and then I actually got in a bridge position, which is like when you're like this in like The Exorcist, and I started walking around the train car like that, and seeing what people would do, how I would feel. I know it was kind of gross with the hands on the floor. I didn't realize that at the time, but I just started to do that, and that experience showed me one thing, one very important thing among other things, but it showed me that people don't bite for the most part. People don't bite. And once you learn that, you realize that you can do pretty much anything, and majority of people will just tolerate it. And with that lesson learned from a personal level, on a personal level, if you were to try something like that on a personal level, you'll realize that people don't bite, and there's no reason to be scared of people's opinions. And now, that was one thing that I did, and I would do things like that on a regular basis. I mean, not that extreme necessarily all the time, but talk to people, talk to strangers. I would pick people out that I felt most intimidated to talk to, and talk to them. So it's a matter of identifying the fear, usually a social fear, and doing what it is that you're afraid of. Like, there was one time, I hope I'm not running over time, but there was one time where there was this really, really attractive, way out of my league girl, and I was like, wow, she had like this aura of like, I'm like a supermodel hot, and I was like, okay, well, I have to talk to this girl, and because I was really afraid. And when I went up to her, even though she had this like, oh, I'm a man-eater aura about her, I said, hello, how you doing? And then she was like, she just kind of became small. Her ego like deflated. And then that was another thing that just showed me people aren't very intimidating. And once you realize that you have the personal power to do that, then you can go further with your social life if you have trouble initially. But yeah, I don't know. Trying to stay on track here, and that's just a little bit of what I did, and I can go more into it in more videos. But yeah, so experiment, have fun, and try to grow from your exploits, I guess. Exploits? Whatever.